Hello, my name is Rachel O'Kello and I'm a UK-based solicitor specialising in immigration, nationality and deportation law. And today I'm going to talk about the impact of the coronavirus outbreak, COVID-19, on the financial requirement in spouse visas. Now, we have to say at the outset that the Home Office seemed to be a little bit silent on how exactly they are going to deal with applications of this nature. So we are borrowing from other areas of immigration rules which have been amended, such as the rules which have been amended for sponsors of work visas and student visa applications as well. And putting all that together and bearing in mind that spouse visas are essentially human rights applications, we can then say that this way of doing it, of applying for the visa, is more likely to be successful in the current climate. And the first thing I think I would say actually as well is that at the moment the Home Office is closed for business really in terms of booking appointments in the UK, and almost all their centres, if not all their centres, the visa application centres around the world are closed. So even if you do an online application, you will not be able to submit that application at this time. So you can do the online application, but the application itself won't be progressed until such time as visa centres around the world open and the Home Office is able to deal with the application as usual. So what does that mean? It means that, in my mind, you can still do the application and submit it online and then wait. It may be that you end up being first in the queue when things get back to normal, or it may be that you have to do some damage limitation. So, for example, if you are likely to lose your job in the coming months, then by submitting the application sooner rather than later, because we don't know what's going to happen with the work environment due to this coronavirus outbreak, but submitting the application sooner rather than later will mean that the date of your application is the date that you submit it online, and you can then rely on that evidence. So, for example, your work salary. You can rely on that for the purposes of supporting the application. And although the appointment may be much later, as I've just said, because the visa centres are closed, which is not your fault, in the past anyway, even where appointments have been later, I've certainly found that the Home Office is fine to accept the date of the application being the date of submission online. And the application, although it's technical, and the date of submission is the date that you send it to that you present it at the visa centre. So I would encourage people still to submit their application online in the present circumstances. I would say, however, and I've always said anyway, that doing the fast track application rarely works. It rarely worked even in normal times. And I think it's highly unlikely that your application is going to go any quicker if you pay the extra hundreds of pounds to get a premium service. I would say that I don't think that's going to be money well spent in this climate. In terms of then the financial requirement, the financial requirement hasn't changed. It's still 18,600 minimum, and then it increases depending on the number of children who are going to be dependents on the application. So you will still need to satisfy the financial requirement, and I'm not going to talk about the savings, I'm just all the disability allowance. If you have a disability and you get disability benefits, then you don't have to meet the financial threshold. I'm not talking about that, and I'm not touching on savings at the moment. I'm just dealing with the salary aspect. So what I would say is that the financial requirement has stayed the same. But the concern that I've had from some clients is that they've been furloughed off, which is our new buzzword, where the government pay up to 80% of salary so that the employer doesn't dismiss the person from work. And some employers have been quite naughty and they've dismissed the employee from work. They've dismissed the employee from working and left people, frankly, without a job. Which for many migrants has caused extra problems because they may not be eligible for public funds, and that's a whole another video that we've been talking about that issue on. But in terms of where that leaves you if you're the sponsor, so you'll be British or have indefinite leave to remain or otherwise qualified to sponsor somebody to come over here on a spouse visa, you will need to still satisfy the financial requirement. And I would say that if you are borderline or not going to satisfy it because you're now only getting 80% of your salary, then the government should really, because your annual income technically hasn't changed, it's just the amount that you receive has changed, then you could make the argument that your annual income does satisfy the minimum income threshold. So what I'm saying is that your salary itself has been decreased because of the furlough scheme should not preclude you from making an application. And then you can also see whether your employer rather, is going to supplement the 20%, because the government will pay 80 and it's open to the employer to top it up with the 20% so that you get that whole 100% amount. Or you can also get another job if it's going to be a problem, get another job to be on the safe side, because as I say, there's not much guidance from the Home Office on this issue. So you could get another job to top you up that 20%, so it'd be a lot easier to get a different job, because under the furlough scheme, your employer cannot give you any work to do. So you're going to need to maybe get some employment law advice on whether you are able to get another job even though you're furloughed out. So these are the issues that people are being presented with at the moment. So I would say make your application, particularly if you meet the financial requirement. You'll have to keep checking, and the Home Office will notify you if appointments become available when the visa centre opens, but you must bear in mind there may be long delays. The UK government has clearly stated they can give no indication as to when the lockdown will be over, so there'll be long delays, but your salary until any further guidance is given is the gross amount that your employer pays to you. You'll have to keep checking. You can check on our Facebook page, which is at Clarity Visas, or Twitter or Instagram. You can follow us, come back to YouTube. If there are any updates, I will give you updates. You can also satisfy yourself by going on the gov.uk website, because things change dramatically all the time and advice keeps shifting. And as immigration lawyers, particularly such as myself, who specialise in immigration matters, I do say to people that in order to have your human rights recognised, and a spouse visa, although to the Home Office is just a tick box set of rules, essentially a spouse visa is a human rights application. It's a right to family life, and that's why from our point of view we do push out the boundaries as lawyers ourselves in order for people to have their human rights recognised. So I hope that was helpful. Do, as I say, follow us on social media under Clarity Visas. You can also subscribe to our newsletter at clarityvisas.com, and keep in touch, and certainly engage with this video, engage with us online. Let us know your experiences, because we're all sharing information and in this very unprecedented time. So take care and stay safe. Until the next time, bye bye.